The rural city of Wangaratta wakes on a winter's morning. Fog hangs low in the Ovens Valley. Mount Buffalo, watching as it has done for millions of years, knows what secrets lie beneath the blanket of mist. Well, it's no secret that the rural city of Wangaratta is home to many of our native animals and plants. But perhaps what is a secret is where they are found. This municipality, 2.5 hours from Melbourne, is located in northeast Victoria. It is over 4,000 square kilometres in area, from the densely forested alpine mountains to the floodplains of the Ovens and King Rivers, with dry forest to the east and west in the Warby Ranges. There are just over 2,000 kilometres of roads, including main arterial roads and a large network of local roads. Altogether, this is more than 4,000 kilometres of roadsides.
Roadsides? Never really thought about it.
Well, I suppose roadsides are just, a good question. What are roadsides? They're just a corridor for traffic.
I suppose roadsides are a place where we find a few plants that we don't find very much anymore down the paddock because we've grazed them all out.
What excites me about our roadsides is we still have some amazing plants and animals on our roadside.
Roadsides, to me, actually really show the people that live behind those roadsides.
So roadsides in many parts of our district are the one area where we can find some of our last vestige of plants and animals. It's definitely the case that these are jewels in the crown, I suppose, of vegetation, and it's a bit of a window into the past, and it does show the sort of vegetation that used to be once widespread across in this instance, the Burman Plains or the riverine. This one's called a leek orchid, and it's only found in the world in this particular reserve. So,
as an adjoining landholder, it's really good to know what you've got on your roadside, and birds are a really good indicator to help you know how healthy your roadside is. On many of our roadsides, we've got grey crown babbler significant signs up. The grey crown babbler relies on roadsides for 90% of its habitat. The roadside on the right here is a high conservation roadside. It's got some fantastic native stuff on the ground, in the shrub layer and in the overstory or the trees. It's nice and wide, it's got very few weeds. It's got a good range of timber on the ground for habitat and hollows in the trees. Roadsides, to a lot of people, as locals and tourists, is where you see a lot of our wildlife. Mess is best for our roadsides. From a healthy habitat point of view, the clean and tidy roadside just doesn't help our native animals. And these animals, look, they need the bits of fallen timber, they need the messy branches, and they need it for the camouflage, for protection and for food. Our local roadsides come in many shapes and sizes and a wide variety of vegetation, from grasslands to tall timber and everything in between. From a bird's eye view, you look down on the landscape and you can see how important our roadsides are for helping animals link their way through the landscape when they're finding food, shelter, or even their mate.
In a typical situation on a improved pasture, there'll still be lots of ants, but the diversity and abundance of native species is quite reduced. And that's where echidnas will come into their own, where there's this sort of diversity and there's cover and so forth for them too.
think it was a secret because you never hear much about it. I mean, I'm starting to think that there's a whole system of little native plants and animals living there on Roadside.
The secrets of our roadsides, like this one that we're on in the rural city of Wangaratta, is that we still have fantastic native vegetation, and this is a secret we really want to share with all adjoining landholders and workers and contractors on our roadside, that they're so special we need to look after them.
As daylight fades, a full moon rises over Mount Buffalo like a guardian, keeping roadside secrets safe.